Welcome to the Unit 5 Lesson 2 homework with me, of course, Ms. Billman. So for these first groups, and really this entire thing, we're going to be looking at expressions that have an exponent. So it's that little number in the right-hand corner of it. So 7 to the third power is really like saying 7 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 7. This is completely different than saying 7 multiplied by 3. Do not get it twisted. It is not that. So for this one, 9 to the third power multiplied by 2 to the second power. So 9 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. For number 3, it's v to the fourth power. So v multiplied by v multiplied by v multiplied by v. Hopefully I said that 3 times. Multiplied by v. Wow. And then number 4, a to the fourth power multiplied by b to the second power. The important part when doing these is that I'm looking at that tiny little number, the exponent, and I'm looking at it as a, hey, this is telling me how many of each to have. So I'm going to use an exponent to write each repeated multiplication. So I counted them, and there were 5 6s, so it would be 6 to the fifth power. For number 6, there are 1, 2, 3 n's, so I would say n to the third power. For number 7, I have 1 4, so I just write 4, and I'm going to multiply that by t to the second power, because there are 2 t's. But I guess I could write 4 to the first, but no one does that, so don't do that. So I have 3 d's, so d to the third power, multiplied by f, because there's only one f. So let's simplify, following the order of operations. Remember, the order of ops is, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, left to right, and addition and subtraction, left to right. So I start with my exponents. 4 multiplied by 4 is 16. So 30 subtract 16 is 14. Ooh, I almost said multiply. Still following my order of operations, I do my parentheses first on number 10. 6 plus 2 is 8, and it's 8 divided by 2 squared. Now I do my exponents, and 2 multiplied by 2 is 4, and I rewrite it as 8 divided by 4, which is 2. For number 11, I do my exponents first. 3 to the third power is like saying 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3, which is 9 multiplied by 3, and that equals 27. So 27 divided by 9 plus 3, division is up next. 27 divided by 9 is 3, and I add 3, which is 6. Now I'm going to evaluate for a being 2 and b being 5. So I rewrite the expression 6 multiplied by 2 to the third power, because it's a. So I start with the exponents. So 2 to the third power is like saying 2 multiplied by 2, and that's 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. So 6 multiplied by 8 is equal to 48. For number 13, I'm going to rewrite it 5 to the second power, or 5 squared, either way, multiplied, and then in parentheses, 2 plus 3. I still follow the order of operations, and I start with my parentheses. So 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 squared multiplied by 5. Next up, I do the exponent, so 5 squared is 5 multiplied by 5. So 25 multiplied by 5, and that is equal to 125. Number 14 is b plus a squared. So the sum of b and a squared. So 5 plus 2 squared. I do the parentheses first. 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 squared is equal to 49. Okay, number 15 and 16 are great for modeling math. So we're going to match the terms of the expression to the parts of the figure. So there's 3 squared plus 2 squared dots. Now, when I look at this model, because this is a model, I notice there are two sets of squares, or there are two squares that are sets of circles. So that 3 squared is like saying 3 multiplied by 3, and I can see that in that square that is 3 by 3. The 2 by 2 square is 2 squared. To get my answer, what I could do is I could add all of those dots up and get the same answer. So that's one way to model math. Number 16 is a little bit different because we're using subtraction. Oof. So with number 15 we were adding, number 16 we're subtracting. So when I do 5 squared, remember that's like saying 5 multiplied by 5, which is 25, which is the total number of dots, whether they are black or white. That's the total number. And I'm going to give that a block out, and you notice I grab my eraser and I block out the entire thing. I put a red square around it because that's my 25, but I'm taking away 2 multiplied by 2, which is equal to 4, and you see those 4 white circles, those dots, that's the subtraction. So my answer is the amount that are the black dots. One way to model math. So Riley said 4 to the 5th power is 20. What mistake did Riley make? So I'm going to make a note to myself that 4 to the 5th power is like saying 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4. So Riley definitely didn't do this right. And we can agree on that. So Riley must have multiplied 4 and 5 together because we know 4 multiplied by 5 is 20. But if I wanted to really find the answer of 4 to the 5th power, I would need to multiply 4 and 4, which is 16, and multiply that 16 by 4, and I would keep going with that answer until I use that 4 5 times. So I would need to multiply 5 4's together, just like this that I'm trying to draw an arrow to. Eek. Well, it still works. So throughout this part of the lesson, it's really important to attend to precision and make sure you're following through. I know you can do this.